I'm Elsie Pitka, Elsie Henry Pitka, and I'm from Beaver, Alaska. I was born 1930. This Japanese man, his name was Frankie Suda. He was the one that bring us to Beaver. He married an Eskimo woman from Barrow. Her name was Nevelo. And I don't know how many families from Barrow moved to Beaver. My grandma and grandpa was able to move that time. Their name was Ayaka and Alashuk. And my mom, Maggie Alashuk. She was a teenager then. They carried their stuff with the dog pack. They moved with the caribou. Camp where there's caribou or good lake or creek or fish or. And my mom say, Barrow have no trees, you know. And the trees is down here, and then they start going to the trees. She say, the trees smell really bad. She could smell the trees. Took them 3 years to get to Beaver. Then they stay in that place because there's slough coming this way. Beaver swim around and make house and everything in that little slough. Then they talk about what they're going to name the village, and my grandma Nevelo, she say, why not call it Beaver? There's lots of beaver over there. So they call it Beaver. That's how it got its name. Frank Suda, he was a fur trader and a storekeeper. He had the first store in Beaver. My first memory is riding inside a big sled. My mom put caribou fur around nice warm blankets inside, and my mom was on the handlebar with a bunch of dogs, and my first father was way out walking ahead of dogs. My first dad was Jack Kellaway. We live in tent year-round out in the wilderness, trapline. I used to sit to my grandma and grandpa when I was little all the time because they can't get out of bed, they're so old. Gee, I guess they must be about 90 years old or something. I used to give them tea or water and get little wood so we could keep warm. Grandpa crawled out of his tent and he saw it in blocks. Maybe I was about 7 years old. But my grandma and my grandpa is the most important thing in my life. We live out in the woods, we don't live in town. I never see a house. My first father, he was a drunkard. He drink up all his money, and the heck with us. All our dogs just froze to death in their place. After he drink up all his money, he passed away. Then Grandma passed away. My Uncle Howard come and pick me and my mom and my sister, and my brother and Grandpa stayed behind. He said, I'm staying right here until we could dig the grave for her. Grandpa wrapped her up really good. And in summer, they dig the grave. After, they walk all the way to Beaver, and I don't know how many miles, maybe 80 miles. Grandpa, maybe 1 or 2 months after, one passed away and the other one passed away. I never went to school till I was around 9 years old. In them days, there's no electricity. There's 3 boys. There's Archie Brown, Dick Newman, and Leo Edwards. They chop wood, bring wood inside the school, make big fire in that big stove, and put gas in the gas lamp, and they'd light up the gas lamps. That's how we go to school. 47 children in that one room. That teacher is so good. You could even hear a needle drop on the floor. Not a whisper. And I thought I was going to get smart with them. She'd get that ruler and spank my hand. Boy, I straightened my butt up real fast. She was really the best teacher that I could ever think of. School kids, I talk Eskimo and they laugh at me and make fun out of me. But I think to myself, you just watch. You watch what I could do. But I never talked back to them. I just keep right on going. I just try the hardest to learn. And when I buried my grandpa and my grandma in Beaver, my language went with them. My mom married my second dad, Arthur Henry, from Stevens Village. He's a hard worker. That's what I know about him. Always out. He'd go over the hills. He'd trap. And in summer we stay in a fish camp, catch king salmon, and he got big smokehouse. You know what smokehouse look like? Dry fish in there. Then we bundle the fish up so we have fish all winter. James Pitka, the famous violin player, he moved to Beaver. He was deaf on both ears, but he was the best violin player you could ever hear. He had children. Elm and Pitka. We got married pretty young. When we got married, we stayed in fish camp, but I never learned how to cut fish. Elman, he don't know how to cut fish. We thought we know, so we cut fish. And we never scraped that fish in the back. You don't scrape it, that it just fold over like this, and all the meat just dropped down. So we got no fish to eat. My uncle Kilburn, he from Stephen Village, and I tell him, Uncle, our fish don't dry good. All the meat dropped down. I tell him that, and he say, I'm moving to Beaver for 1 year. I'm going to teach you how. And he had 5 children. I help him with his children, and he teach me how to cut fish. So that's how I learned how to cut. Eating fish, salmon stripping, and that's where we raise our kids. Elman, he was a good hunter though. We have meat all the time. Good moose meat. He had a trap line all the way to Doll Mountain from Beaver. We sell his fur to them fur buyers. Some of them is not so good, so that's what I sew with. Make mittens and make rabbit socks and rabbit mittens for 50, 60 below. I went to training in Anchorage for teacher's aid. There were 60 of us from all over Alaska. And I was the only one there that never graduated from not even 8th grade. And they're way up there and I'm down here. But I was one of the 10 students that complete the course and never miss a class. So I went back home and as a teacher's aide. BIA school, they name it Krugershank School after old Moses. I listen to kids read and teach them how to write. We have a school trip all the way to San Diego, California. Oh, the little kids were all excited about giant-sized airplane with all the students getting there. And I was born and raised in Alaska, and the first polar bear I seen was in a San Diego zoo. I worked for 23 years as a teacher's aide. I teach church school. I don't even know how many years. I work with Fish and Game, hunting license, and my husband and I, we had 13 children, and we had a hard time raising our kids, but we worked together. Our oldest child, she met an army man He moved her to Kentucky. My husband said, I don't want my baby to live down there forever. I'm going to Fairbanks and I'm going to work. I'm sending for my baby. So he worked pipeline. Our oldest son was in the Army for 4 years. And when he come back, he got drunk with somebody and somebody poured gas on him and set him on fire. I don't know whoever did it, but I expect God to take care of it. I moved to fish camp and my grandchildren come with me. My boat driver, Ben Henry, when he was little guy, big motor element buy for us. And I can't pull it myself, so I tell Ben, hold it with me, that string. And I say, go, then we pull. Then it start up. Then he drive the boat, I never drive it. And my grandchildren, I tell them, I cook for you kids. The food is here for you kids. But you have to wash your own dish. But they love it in my fish camp though. Sometimes we kill moose and we dry moose meat in there. We have dry meat then. Oh man, that makes me hungry. I have a trap line. Only way I catch link is I get Elman to come with me. He puts his magic touch on there, then I catch a link. Well, my favorite thing to do is go fiddle dancing. James Pitka, he used to play all night until in the morning. Jig and square dance and brandy and duck dance. Grandma Charlotte showed us how. I teach how to sew, and I'm making mittens here. My advice is to finish school, grade school, high school, then go to training, any kind of training for jobs. Try the hardest to learn. Just keep right on going.